For today's topic, we are going to be covering or talking about how are you spending your 1 hour compared to your $100 bill. Now, those two may sound very similar or very different, but the way I'm going to be breaking it down is they are equivalent to each other. We definitely see more value into the $100 bill just because it's something tangible. But then for our 1 hour, it may not be as valuable because it's something that we can't see or touch unless you're looking at the clock. But it's not something that we can see value in it. And most of the time, as busy professionals working 9 to 5, have whether you're full-time husband, mom, full-time employee, self-employed entrepreneur, we get really busy with our lives. And we tend to misjuggle our relationships, our time, and our money. And we tend to lose one or the other. So then wrapping that back to the 1 hour you have, along with the $100 bill that you have. Because I'm pretty sure this has happened to a lot of you. It's happened to me multiple times where I will go into a store shopping for myself, some new clothes, and I see this good looking shirt and they're picturing on me. I'm like, I'm gonna kill it in that shirt. It's gonna look amazing on me. I go pick it up, I touch the fabric, I'm looking it up, and then I reach in for the price tag. And then my reaction is like, whoop, yeah, this is expensive. Is it worth it? And then my mind starts to change itself, like, you know what, maybe I don't want this shirt, or maybe I do. When we see a price tag that's $100, we either go, oh, that's affordable, or we either go, wow, that is expensive. The same thing goes with our time. When we are networking, or when we're about to go to a network and we're talking to our friends, and a friend goes and says, yeah, the networking is about an hour. And sometimes we would sit there and be like, wow, 1 hour, that's pretty long. Is it going to be worth my time? The way we treat the price tag or the $100 bill is similar to how we treat our 1 hour. And I say that because we give it the same mentality and the same concept, but we just reverse the roles and the consequences or the results. So for today, what I want to walk us through is to understand that we should allow ourselves to spend our 1 hour just like how we are spending our $100 bill. So before I continue, I just want to see if there are any comments on here that are dropping in. I want to say hi, Gao, and hi, Sinia. Thank you for joining me. So right now, you're just joining in, tuning in. I just got done talking about you going shopping and you pick up that shirt. It's beautiful, it's handsome, but then when you look at the price tag, you're like, nope, it's too expensive, and then you put it back. Same thing with where we are gonna attend a networking event and we know that it's an hour. We sometimes think like, wow, that's a long time. Is it worth my time? So I just briefly went over that. So right now I'm gonna dive into how can we spend our 1 hour just like how we are spending our $100 bills. So a lot of us are in different areas in our lives. Whether you're in a good spot to start to understand how to allocate your money to work for you. For example, if you're investing in the stock market, real estate, if you're investing in 401ks or in a way where you make your money grow for you, I think money is very important. But one thing that we tend to forget is how our time is also important. So going back to the $100 analogy, let's say that I get paid $100 and I get that $100 bills, and I could either spend it all on one thing, or if I'm smart about it, I'll allocate it and split my $100 bills so that I'm investing it. For example, $15 goes into my investments, $15 goes into my spendings, my bills, my hobbies, my 401k, splitting that $100 bill up into my investments. So that with that same thought, we should do the same with that 1 hour that we have. And when we think about money, compound interest, $15 may not sound a lot, but if you stack that up throughout the years, it is a lot. The same thing with our time. If we split 15 minutes to just study, research, 15 minutes to meditate, 15 minutes to learn a new skill, over time, it's gonna stack up the same way. So how we split that $100 bill should be the same way we're treating our time. And I do want to say this, sometimes when we look at that $100 bill, it's easier to just let it go and just, it's easy to have a strategy and plan for it. Because it's something tangible, it's something we see. But then when it comes to our time, it's not as tangible. So it's a little bit harder for us to grasp it because we're actually living in it. That's one thing that I struggled a lot with, where I'm working myself as a full-time art director, 9 to 5. I would get off work and I'll already be exhausted. And most of my time, I wouldn't really have a good grasp of like how I should allocate my time to learn or to grow. So an example of that too is I would say that I have a pretty good grasp on my money, allocating it on where it should go to the appropriate areas to invest in my life. But when it comes to my time, I don't really know how to invest my time and my energy, because then I'm debating, okay, I'm tired, I just want to rest, I want to be lazy, and next thing you know, it gets out of hand and I end up doing nothing for that night. But then it wasn't until I started to understand how to invest my time and my money, then I started to combine the two. So once we start seeing the similarities a $100 bill has for your 1 hour, when you combine the two, you start to see the value of investing money not only in your stocks, your 401k or real estate, but investing that money back into yourself so you can grow. An example of that would be investing in like coaches, because I invested in a business coach, I invested in a life coach. It wasn't until I understood my money allocation and then how I'm allocating my time as a schedule builder, then I started to infuse money into my time. Then I started to raise my hand for help. I started to see the importance of money and time being fused together. That's allowed me to grow physically, mentally, and emotionally. I'm gonna pause right here because that was a lot to take in. I'm gonna check and see if there are any questions in the comments. And feel free to comment it below. I definitely will come back and I want to see if there are any questions that I am able to answer for you. So that was a really quick story of the $100 bill analogy with the 1 hour. So the next time you have the $100 bills, how are you going to split it? And the next time you give yourself 1 hour, how are you going to split that 1 hour? So as always, have a practicing mind.